going live. Sorry, you can see my desktop. I didn't mean to do that, but you can have both me on your screen. Anyway, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday to share with you some of the things that I've been working on, or in this case, some of the sneak peeks that I brought back with me from OnStage. Yes, OnStage that I was at in Houston, Texas last week. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. I have a few card samples and the stamp set that you see here on your screen, Spotlight on Nature, which is a preview from the upcoming catalog that launches on May 1st. So let's go ahead and pop over to my desktop officially. There we go. All right. So as I mentioned, this stamp set, it's actually a bundle, is going to be available in the new catalog that will be launching on May 1st. And in case you have not yet seen it, this is the cover. And I know you can't see the whole thing because my camera is too low. But anyway, there you go. You can see that it starts in May, goes through next April, and it has a real focus on the relationships that we build within Stampin' Up! And the experiences that we offer, as opposed to highlighting all the fun supplies that we have on the inside. But I can't show you that. I'm not allowed to show that until it launches in terms of the inside of the catalog. But I can show you some of the things that I actually have. So one of the things we were able to choose was a bundle from the catalog, and this is the Spotlight on Nature bundle, and in it we have the stamps. So these are the images, and I love the pencil lines that it looks like, and it's great for coloring or even single stamping. And then what really drew me to the bundle, to choose this bundle, was the collection of dies. And you can see here that these are the different dies. They are similarly sized, and I want to show you what they look like when you cut them out. So they are each individual. So you've got this nice embossing. See, it doesn't go all the way through. It's not all the way cut through, but you've got some circles with those designs. You've got this kind of a border. So you have a couple of different sizes with that. And what I did is I mixed and matched them so that I could show you in multiple colors what they are. But all the circles are a little bit different. So here's one that has these pretty little edges. And I deliberately left the pieces in so that you could see how it cuts. Now, I wanted to mention that we already have this is called radiating embossing, at least that's what we call it. Hey, Linda, thanks for welcoming me back. And so that we already have some dies that have this radiating image, and they're available on the online store. But this set has a few, and that's not it, because look, we've got a whole nother batch of items that are cut out with the dies. So here's some more sizes of the radiating dies. Okay, so you definitely have several that can go together or separately, and I just thought that these would be great for making mats for different circles, right? We've got lots of circle punches and other dies, and so I love layering them to highlight what you've got going on. So again, these are the dies, and again, I see using these a lot. I did want to point out that when I cut these out, the one thing you have to note is that it gets stuck in the die. It cuts out beautifully, and almost always all the little pieces come out. But for those pieces that don't, you can just go ahead and punch them with your Take Your Pick tool. But on the other side of the Take Your Pick tool, I don't have my foam mat over here, but you can purchase the brush attachment. It comes with a foam mat, and you just have to brush it along, and all the little pieces just pop right out, and you get confetti all over your room. Or if you're neater than I am, you can aim them for your trash. Actually, they stick to the foam mat that you get with this, so it doesn't make nearly as much of a mess as I'm making here. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you understood that that does happen with these and many other dies that have little pieces in them, but they do cut beautifully, and that is the stamp set. So let's see. I also want to, let's go ahead and make a card, and I get to show you a few more things on that card. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a brand new color, which isn't a brand new color. This is Pretty in Pink, and for those of you who've been around for a little while, Pretty in Pink is actually an old color that is making a return to our in color selection. And so it's a perfect baby pink, and good for lots of other things. But here is the little chart we got to make of the new in colors. I'm sorry, it's not perfectly smooth. You can see it got a little wet over here. That's what happens when you carry stuff around for a couple of days. But our first color is Peach Pie, and it's this lovely shade of peach, which will go with any of your pastels. We don't always have a good peach, and so I think this is going to fill in perfectly. This is Petunia Pop, and it's got that purpley pink color. It's lighter than Berry Burst, so it could coordinate with it, or it just, you can see that it's lighter. This down here is taking the markers and just scribbling so that you can see what that looks like. And of course, this is using the ink pads, and this is the cardstock. Here's the Pretty in Pink that I talked about. So you see how that looks. This card color is Shy Shamrock, and of course it was introduced to us this weekend, so it was perfect timing for St. Patrick's Day, but obviously you could use that lovely bright green with any of your projects. And then this one is called Summer Splash, and it's very similar to our old Bermuda Bay that we lost last year. Bermuda Bay was my all-time favorite Stampin' Up! Color, and I think this one is going to fill in nicely. So it's somewhere in between what the old Bermuda Bay was and the current Coastal Cabana, but I'm going to use it the same way as I used the Bermuda Bay. So I'm very excited to have that color back. So these colors will be launching with the new catalog, which is May 1st of this year. And just so you know, that means that the in colors from 2022 to 2024 are going to be retiring. And let me just take out my catalog really quick just to remind you what those colors are. So we always list our colors. Here's the 2023 to 2025. I'm back online. It doesn't seem to matter. Just get that going again. And we're back. Boy, that is annoying, huh? Sorry about that. Let me switch that back over. Come on. There we go. All right, so here we have our 2023 to 2025 colors, and these are the ones that are actually going to be retiring. So we've got Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, and Orchid Oasis. And these colors will be retiring as of May 1st, but they will be available only as supplies last. So if there are any papers or refills or ink pads or the Stampin' Blends that you are looking for in these colors and really want them, you need to make sure you get them sooner rather than later, because they will be the first things that disappear. All right, so I put my little commercial in. You got that. Let's go ahead and make our card. So we're going to start with a piece of Pretty in Pink cardstock, and I have to put on my glasses here because I can't see what I'm doing. My eyes have been a little tired lately, so okay, so we've got that, and now I'm going to take a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock, and I'm going to put that on the front of the card, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal right here. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on. Okay, so you can figure out that I'm going to be using these two colors on the card. So let's take a piece of basic white cardstock, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches, And I'm going to take my Memento basic black ink pad and the big flower. Okay, I just love the way this looks. Don't ask me what kind of flower it is. I'm sure some of you know. I don't have any idea. I am not a person who keeps track of that kind of thing, but I just inked it up and I'm placing it down. And here we have that gorgeous flower. And now I could go ahead and color the whole thing in, but that's not what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to take a small circle, which this is one of the dies that I cut out with the dies in the Spotlight on Nature bundle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it down. You could do this the other way around if you wanted to, but I don't mind just doing it like this. I put it on my desktop. And what I want to do is spotlight just the bigger flower. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the bigger flower so that it's on the circle. Okay, so we have that on there. And that's lovely, just the way it is. Now let's give that a coloring in. And I'm going to use, because I don't have my new in colors yet, and really the green wasn't what I wanted, I'm using Flirty Flamingo. And what I like to do is use the bullet tip, and I like to go over some of the lines, the heavier lines that you can see on the image. And there's a little bit of this flower down here too, so I'm going to color that in too, because that made it on there. And then I'm going to take the lighter color, the lighter Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just going to color in just the whole thing. It's very forgiving. You can see I wasn't even staying in the lines before. Probably is better when you stay in the lines, but nobody's going to know the difference when you see the final card. It's still going to look lovely. And so I've colored the flowers the way that I want them. And now that I'm going to use the bullet tip of the light Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to trace over my, I'm just doing the entire leaves in the same color rather than doing the shading, because I don't really need to do that. And what I'm going to do now is position this on the card so that it lines up with the one that's already on there. And I'm going to add this to the card with a dimensional. I'm just using one. You can use as many as you like, but I find one works just fine. I got to line it up again because I didn't do that first. You can see that we've now spotlit the flower. And this technique is actually called spotlighting, where you take part of your black and white image or sedate colored image perhaps, and then add the pop of color with some, you could punch it out and then just raise it up, and that will work too. But this gives you your card. Now, I'm not going to just do that. Let's add a little fun. It's a little bit plain, right? So I'm taking some Baker's Twine. This is the Essentials pack. This is 5 different shades of neutral colors. And I'm going to take out my Baker's Twine, and I'm going to cut a really long piece because I forgot to measure it before. And I'm going to cut it with some scissors that managed to leave my table. Let me go grab that. Oh, no, they're right there. I lied. They're right here. And what I want to do is wrap this around the bottom. And I'm going to go around it a couple of times. So let's see. I'm going to go around a few times so that I can have plenty to tie a bow with. And I'm going to go ahead and put that bow in the center. Now, I am not the best with bows, I admit. I always say God gave me 3 boys because I can't tie a bow. I have no girls. So, gave me a break on that. There we go. So we have got a nice little bow. We will trim it. And if we want, we could also stamp in, that's not the greatest bow, but we can stamp in a sentiment. And I'm just going to use the Dear Friend that comes with the set. And I'm going to put that down here. keep things flowing. Going to go ahead and add this to the front of my card. I'm just using my regular Stampin' Seal. And you can see that the, I forgot to mention that the Granny Apple green is just a little bit bigger. Okay, it's only 1/8 of an inch larger. So there you've got the bulk of the card, and that is how I originally made it. I wanted to add some bling to this. So one of the things that we did receive were the 2024-2026 in color shimmer gems. So we always have some gems that go with the in colors, and so this was no exception. So let's go ahead and add a few of the pretty and pink ones just to round out. Let's see, where should I put this? I'm going to put one here, and then I'll put a little one down below. I'm going to put it here, and then another one above. Okay, so there we have it. But you see those, oops, those gems are really pretty. So anyway, so that's my card that I made, and let me just show you a few others that we did while we were there. This is another card. This we actually used the, this is Lemon Lime Twist, and this is the Shy Shamrock. We stamped the same color, the ink on the same color paper to make a nice background. Very pretty, just a little of that twine there. And this card, we, oops, bring it down here. We use the Shy Shamrock to make those gorgeous leaves. Not a color combination I necessarily would have chosen, but it definitely is interesting to note that this back piece is actually watercolor paper, and we use the pecan pie to watercolor the edges only, so that we made a softer mat for this card. And then lastly, we used a brand new ink pad that's coming that's called Basic Beige, and the Basic Beige is what we used to stamp right onto the watercolor paper, and then we watercolored with the Lemon Lime Twist and the Calypso Coral here to give that effect. So you can still see the image because the new Basic Beige is a little bit darker, but it still sort of just fills in. It's a great technique to do with these kinds of images, the line type images. So those are just some samples that we made with this stamp set, and I think I've given you all the sneak peeks that I had prepared for today. So next week I will bring back some more. I have some other things that I can share. So until then, if you have any questions, you can look on my blog for the details for this card. Also, it should be in the notes for this video. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me at BrendaMillerSU.com. So until then, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.